Hi everybody, this is Mark, and if you could imagine, these are my about 4-year-old hands, my first fall in a preschool in upstate New York, uh, in the town of Attica. If you know about the famous prison riots, really ugly scene. It's in that community about 2 miles from the prison, and I'm in preschool. And this is my first big Christmas project, and we're making cutout Christmas trees. And I'm so excited because my older sisters have made uh, Christmas projects, and I've seen them come home and they go on the Christmas tree or on the fridge or on the wall. And now I get to bring something home, and I'm just thrilled that I get to do this art project. So the here, remember I'm 4, and oh, oh my gosh. Let's open it. Oh, wow. That's not. Oh, so now I'm stunned, shocked. What exactly is that? So there I was, shocked, stunned, confused, hurt, but also a little bit curious. Maybe this was good. I had 2 halves. Maybe that was nice. When from across the room, big people footsteps, holding up my 2 pieces and proclaiming to everyone, "This is not what you do." Well, so here I am about 45 years later trying to put my tree together. Think it had an impact on me? Salvaging my pre-K Christmas tree. And I tell this story to my students to let them know that if I ever tread on forbidden territory like that, I consider it forbidden. Please let me know. And this is just a quick tour of a few things in my classroom. I like to have a lot of projects open-ended, kind of like the one I'm doing right now. I'm an English teacher and I want kids actively engaged with the literature. So we do a lot of the traditional stuff, but I give a lot of open-ended assignments. And kids, these are high school kids. They'll say things like, "Wow, I don't think I've drawn a picture since I was in 4th grade," over the years. So I try to give them opportunities to explore and feel good about themselves. Not like that kindergarten pre-K teacher I had in Attica, New York. So elementary school passed by, and I think it was pretty enjoyable, and I was pretty happy as a kid going to school. But then middle school and high school, I don't really have a clear memory of a good time. And this is sort of a summary of what I know about my high school experience right there. And I'm not really sure what that means either. And I probably went through 2 or 3 years of college, and I had a creative writing poetry class that I was enjoying. But here's a phrase that has stuck with me and I think maybe changed my entire educational outlook. Let's see if we can get that up where you can read it. Looks like you've done your homework instead of bullshit schoolwork. That struck me as a really odd and beautiful comment coming from a teacher, a professor. And it validated in my mind that my ideas and what I was thinking and my experiences were meaningful, and that maybe a lot of what was happening in the schools was sort of the factory assembly line kind of education. So that came from a poetry professor that I became good friends with eventually. So my wife and I were hired by Dr. Anthony Spencer to teach at Tarsus American College in Tarsus, Turkey. And Dr. Spencer, he was a good old Iowa boy, heart of America. Pretty dry, straightforward kind of man, but he'd show up in my classroom as the director, headmaster, superintendent, with a notepad, something like this, about once a month. And he'd just say, "All right, Mark, how's it going? Uh-huh. Making some nice progress in your class? Uh-huh. What have you been teaching? Oh, interesting. Right. How's that going over with the students? Good. Hey, what can I do for you? Oh, all right. 4 more copies of Romeo and Juliet. Great. I'll see what I can do. Uh, hey, does the sun always shine through those windows like that and glare off the board? Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Maybe I can get you some shades. Would you like that? Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. I'll get that. All right. Hey, I've heard some good things about you. Keep it up. And then a month later, Dr. Anthony Spencer would come in. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Tell me, but what are you doing in your classes? Oh, interesting, great. How are the students reacting to that? Uh-huh, uh-huh. And you're going to change things up a little bit then? Oh, that sounds like an interesting approach. Yeah, yeah, let me know how that goes. Hey, did you get those Romeo and Juliet copies? Good, good. And hey, good, the shades are up. Yeah, the lighting's a lot better in here. Hey, what can I do for you? All right, hey, I've heard some interesting things about you. Keep it up. And then Dr. Anthony Spencer, he left Tarsus American College, and we got Dr. Monster, who fired 3 teachers before he met them. Dr. Monster, because he wanted to prove a point. Dr. Monster, that he was new and it was his school and he was in charge. And he went on to fire, I think, 9 people that year, maybe one of whom was actually a bad teacher, based on his ego and his need to force through his own policies. And we ended up having a conversation where he was saying things like this. Well, Mark, since I got rid of Steve Lindstrom, looks like it's you and me. And since you already abandoned me early in the school year when you resigned from your administrative position, I see it's going to be you against me. But let me just tell you, I've got the board on my side. I've got parents on my side. I've got the students under my thumb. I have the key Turkish players in my hands. And you're going to have to do whatever I ask you to do. Dr. Monster. And he really didn't have all those players on his side, and we had quite a battle, and he was forced out of the school the following school year. But talk about a contrast from Dr. Spencer to Dr. Monster and his stranglehold on everybody. It was very suffocating, terrible experience. Another educational leader I had was Brian Weinrich, who taught at Anzoátegui International School in Anaco, Venezuela. He was newly hired director of the school, and there was a lot of turnover that year. Very small international school, grades K through 12, something like maybe 150 students. So a fun setting, fun school to be at, with almost an entire new staff and a new director, which tells you there had been some problems, but also a fresh start for everybody who showed up. And Brian, first day, maybe 20 minutes introductions, he said, hey, I have to trust you. I really don't know you. I'm not the one who hired you. The previous director did. But I believe in the goodness of people in the education business. And I've ordered some food and snacks, and I'll be sending them in all day. But I want you guys to just sit around, get to know each other, kind of talk about your dreams. What's your ideal school? what would it look like? What would the schedule look like? How will you interact with each other? So that's going to take some time. So just do that today. And then tomorrow morning, I'll show up and I'll give you a little while, and then we'll start to create a schedule. Tell me what you want, and then we'll see what happens. So the next morning we show up and we present Brian with our ideal best case scenario. We had a nice day bonding, having fun, laughing, talking about serious educational issues. And we present Brian with our ideal schedule, and all of us are clueless how he could actually make that work. And he looked at it and he said, all right, that's interesting. Let's get together for a little meeting around 2:30 this afternoon, and I'll cover a few things on my agenda. So Brian shows up about 2:30 that afternoon. He's got a little stack of copies in his hand, and he throws them around on the tables in front of the teachers. He said, okay, well, I played around a little bit. What do you think? And we all looked at it, and it was a matrix for the entire small school, which was an advantage, but at the same time, a little bit tricky. And every single thing that we asked for was on there. Everything that the teachers wanted in the best case scenario existed without a conflict, and we were stunned. So first of all, we knew this guy took us seriously. And then at the same time, from a management perspective, administrator perspective, I've given these teachers what they wanted. Of course, the pressure is now on the teachers to perform. That doesn't mean as the administrator, I don't expect there to be glitches and problems to arise, but I'm giving them what they say they need to do a great job, and now let's see what they can do with it. And we all respected him a lot, and at the same time, because of that, he got a lot out of us. So that's a little overview of some events and some people who have impacted me in various ways, and my educational leadership autobiography and my philosophies. I'd like to close with a puppet show, and it comes from the Babemba tribe of the Babemba tribe in Africa. Has a ceremony when someone has committed a crime or violated a custom or tradition, and they get together in a big circle, and everyone steps forward and says something nice that they recall about the accused, and this could take 2 or 3 days. At the end of the time of storytelling, saying something nice about the accused, they then have a great big celebration and feast and welcome the accused back into the tribe. And we have Mr. Fox here, who's been accused of harassing Mrs. Hen, chasing her around, scaring her, and nipping some tail feathers from her butt. And first coming forward is Miss Crocodile, and she would like to tell Mr. Fox, I remember when I had those nit-witted little reptilian babies of mine who were not very smart at all, and you, Mr. Fox, you taught them to be so wise. Thank you so much. Okay, who do you have?
Rabbit. Rabbit. Hi, Fox. I remember when I was a little tadpole, you taught me become a big boy frog.
Big boy frog. Nice. And I have Mrs. Elephant. Mrs. Elephant said, Fox, I remember when I was so terrified of that mouse running around by my feet, and you scared the mouse away, chased it off for me. Thank you so much. How about you?
Well, I remember Fox.
Who is that?
I'm Lobster.
Show everybody Lobster. Oh, yeah.
And I didn't see where the ocean was, so You helped me go back to the ocean and you threw me back in. Thank you, Fox.
Lion stepped forward and said, "Fox, welcome back to the tribe. Will you please refrain from chasing chicken around?
Well,
And it's time for the feast, everybody! Let the party begin!" We say bye.
bye.
Okay, we're going to take a trip up into the attic. Be careful. It's dark. There's a lid there. There's a light switch. Okay.
Coming up.
Oh no, I'm being chased. Oh no. Since this is reflective leadership, I thought I'd go into the reflective bin. Seems like every time something interesting happens, I throw it in the green bin. And I haven't been in there for a while, so I'm going to poke around. Yes, Marcelo?
Get in.
There it is, the bin for reflection. Oh my, looks like it's to capacity. It's like on top, Roy Madrid, wonderful guy, goalie on the hockey team, state cross country running champion, and got about $40,000 worth of scholarships. Harvard flew him out to view the campus, and he turned down Harvard for USC. This was nice. This was an email that came through about a year after I had this student who said, you know, I really didn't get it when I was in your class, but now that I'm in college, I just wanted to say thanks. A lot of what I'm doing in college. Anything real in here? In that mess? Mexico Teachscape teacher evaluation. Oh, this was, I had a photography club when I taught in Turkey, and students made a public relations post. This was the first student parent handbook. So we were talking about mission and vision. Maybe the one I worked on is in here. Oh, there's Dr. Monster. I won't give his real name away. There's a mission statement. That's the one the staff created there. Mission statement. Looks kind of bulky to me now. This was written in Spanish by that boy that I just mentioned, the one that could have gone to Harvard. Little featured teacher in the newspaper, of course, with a fish. There a few colleagues, Amy Franklin in the middle, Francis Hahn. Some of you might remember him. He's the teacher that turned down the bonus for how well his AP students did on their exam a few years ago, saying no merit pay in any shape. Oh, when the team that I coached, hockey team, won the state championship a couple years ago. I don't know, does everybody have one of these? It's kind of fun. I did photography exhibits for 4 or 5 years at the Visitor Center in Pilar and had a guest book out. You know, and you get things like this, look at that. It made me cry, and it made me grateful that there are other souls like mine out there. Be amazed how appreciative people are, right? Not a lot of money for artists or for teachers, but a lot of nice comments. Here's one from a different year. Water, often water and fish related. People have been talking about what can I do? Will I ever have a chance? Well, write articles. Spread the word around. Oh, teacher's license wrinkled with coffee stains. Newspaper. So this is the old-fashioned portfolio that I used to carry around with me when my wife and I were doing the international schools. Michigan, certified in Michigan, expired
Expired in 2005. It's been a while since I was in here. Texas. Texas is good till it's a lifetime certificate. That's funny. Provisional lifetime certificate. Texas. Good old I'd keep that. Oh yeah, roller hockey champs of Venezuela, baby. This was one of the funnest projects I did, and we went to Angel Falls with a group of students. Bush planes, upstream in dugout canoes, all kinds of critters sleeping in hammocks in the jungle. We renovated the school. Look at that. Oh, I did another master's degree at one point. Look at that sucker, 1997. Distinguished Teacher Award, Taos Municipal Schools. Above and Beyond. Well, that's pretty nice. They're doing that because out of nowhere last spring, they sent me a letter and they said, we're going to honor you at a ceremony with our Community Open Heart Award for the work you do with kids in the community. So, actually, wow. So that trip to Angel Falls, we kept a collaborative journal. I think she's playing soccer at the University of Tennessee, maybe? So lots and lots of stuff. So that's just the surface, as you can see right there. So that's it for my video. Thanks for following along. Hopefully it was interesting. Maybe you got a few ideas. Hope you enjoyed the journey with me. Probably just throw things back in the bin and start putting this video together.
So that is a Cyclops Pinata, one of the coolest projects that a student's brought in. Another student happened to make Odysseus's sword. So you can kind of put the equation together. And candy spewed forth. It was a lovely day at Taos High School. There's always going to be a little hurt in life, but it's my Van Gogh look. It's okay, I still have my ears. But remember, have fun with it.